Dr. Marta Catalinas. I'm a pediatrician in Round Rock, Texas. We are here in the area near the capital, Austin. And I am a mother of 3 kids, now adults. And I'm here with my friends, again, with Fer and Veronica. How are you?
Good, Marta. How are you today?
Doing great.
Yeah, you look great. So yes, I'm Fer. I'm a chef. I live in Round Rock, Texas too. I'm a mother of 5. The youngest one is junior in college, so no really little kids anymore. And we are gonna talk today about something special we can prepare for Mother's Day, which is around the corner this coming Sunday. And also we are going to talk about, of course, anxiety. Like I think we have a lot of to say, and we left something last week to talk about it, and I think it's a very important thing to talk about, topic. And also I would like to talk about the syndrome of Kawasaki, Marta, that we heard something and I read something, but I'm not sure what I'm talking about. So I really want to ask you about that. And of course, with us today is Veronica, our mom with Toddlers. So welcome again, Veronica.
Hello, I'm Veronica. I'm super happy to be here with Fer and Marta. I'm also from Spain and I also live in Austin, and I'm mom to 3 kids. One of them is 5, the other one is almost 4, and then I have a 1-year-old. So today, as we are gonna keep on talking about anxiety and coronavirus, I wanted to ask Marta about something that I have seen in my 5-year-old. I've seen that Alvaro's consistent theme for pretend play is coronavirus. Like if he pretends he's a policeman, he will talk about coronavirus. If he is, I don't know, maybe if we're playing family, he will ask me how my husband is doing and how is he coping with work from home. Is this something normal? Should I just let it be? Should I talk to him about it? Or I don't know. What should I do, Marta?
I think that's great, Veronica. He's only 5, and look, he's expressing what we are all doing. When you pick up the phone and talk to a friend, to your mom, to neighbors, what do you talk about? The coronavirus, because we're everybody, okay, how are you doing? So he's very appropriately, with only 5 years old, and he already knows that this is an important issue, and he's using play to express those feelings. And remember, when kids go to therapy, remember when kids who may have, I don't know, depression or anxiety or situations, and they go to therapy, the therapist uses play therapy, right? To allow the kids to express their emotions. So he's doing that on his own. I think that is very mature of him. I think that's great. You should, yes, continue the conversation and watch for, I think we set the limit when it becomes obsessive. We don't want things, thoughts, or plays to become obsessive. And when do we know that it becomes obsessive? When it's interfering with his normal life. And when you're 5, your normal life is eating, sleeping, and playing, right? And that's what I tell parents usually. You know that something is wrong when kids are not doing one of those 3 things. So the same thing here. If the anxiety, the thought about the coronavirus is keeping him from eating well, from sleeping at night, or is just dominating the play to the point that he cannot do anything else, then is when you should be a little worried. And the only thing to do at that point is maybe intervene by using distraction. But I think it's very, nothing to worry about at this point. I think what he's doing is very appropriate. Always tell him that he has to feel safe because you and dad are there. Nothing's going to happen to anybody. And people are working on, a cure. There are many very smart people working on that. And I have a lot of my families, actually, Veronica, who use like bedtime as a bedtime routine to pray. Everyone with his own religion, but to spend a few minutes. Well, that's his little contribution also. Let him participate that way. If that is a habit that you have in your family. So there are many ways to express that anxiety, and I think Alvaro is doing it in a very, very appropriate way for a 5-year-old.
Thank you. So something else about anxiety that I was wondering about is, once a kid shows symptoms, does it mean that this kid is always going to show some kind of anxiety symptoms in a bigger or a lesser extent? Or once they recover their pre-pandemic routine, all this will stop and the meter will kind of go down to zero again?
Yes, I think this situation we're living is such a unique. We don't have any precedent for this. We don't know. Never happened before. I don't think we can draw any conclusion saying whoever shows anxiety, if you're a kid, it means that you're going to be anxious as an adult. I don't think we can draw that conclusion because we are all feeling it in more or less degree. I think he will go back to normal. Within his genetic normal. Remember, some families are, everybody is anxious, everybody is more on the worry side. Others are more relaxed, and so he's going to be just like his genetic information will allow him to be, but I think everything is going to go back to normal once they can go back to school, back to talking to their friends, back to normal, which we don't know when that's going to happen. But until then, just create as much security for him as you can at home.
It's something we are learning day by day, no, Marta?
We are. There is no, as I say, there's no precedent for this. When have we been at home, working from home, concerned about getting sick? Never. This is new. The last time this happened was in 1918, and who knows what they did back then. But definitely, this is a new normal for us, and it's going to continue for a while. It's not going to change from one day to the next. This is going to continue for months, and slowly we'll go back to normal, and hopefully the virus will lose strength and as it goes around and starts multiplying, maybe becoming less aggressive, less virulent. And that's what we are hoping. Also, or we will develop a vaccine or a treatment, or a combination of all of the above, which is what we're waiting for.
Wow. Also, Marta, what I say at the beginning of this chapter of Cooking for Toddlers, I heard something about the syndrome, the Kawasaki syndrome, and I read something about it, but it's really complicated, or I don't understand if this syndrome related to the COVID-19 or not, or is just another panic or alarm to give to parents to be worried about it.
Yes, so it looks like if in Europe and here in the United States also, they have been identifying a few kids with Kawasaki disease. And this is a disease of childhood, of kids less than 5 years old. This is not a new condition. It's been described by this Dr. Kawasaki many years ago, and it was initially in people of Asian descent in that part of the globe, and now we have cases of Kawasaki's everywhere, and definitely here in the United States I've seen many patients with Kawasaki's. So what it is a combination of symptoms, including fever for more than 5 days. It includes swelling of the glands in the neck, the lymph nodes of the neck mainly, includes strawberry tongue, includes peeling of the toes and the fingers, conjunctivitis, so redness of the eyes, and a generalized rash all over the body that can have different characteristics. And what causes Kawasaki's? What causes all these symptoms to happen in the same person at the same time? We don't really know, but what we know is that seems to be a post-infectious illness, a reaction of our body, of the body of the child, going through an infection or having gone through an infection, usually viral. So it's not attached to a specific virus. Any virus can eventually produce this reaction of your body to develop all these symptoms. Sometimes you can pinpoint, or the viral infection is happening at the same time. So you test the child and, oh, look, it has adenovirus. Or like in this case, now they are testing the children, and they are finding some who are positive for COVID-19 just because we are testing them, right? In many cases that I have seen in the past with my patients, we don't identify, the parents don't even remember, or maybe they have a remote, oh yeah, 2 weeks ago he had fever for a couple of days. So it's not a clear, we think is a post-infectious syndrome. We don't have a clear correlation. It makes sense to think that if we are having such an aggressive virus that now producing such an amount of inflammation in generalized symptoms, it makes sense to think that it will produce the symptoms of Kawasaki's too, because in Kawasaki's what happens is an inflammation of the blood vessels. So it's a vasculitis. So anything with itis means inflammation, right? So Kawasaki's produces inflammation of the medium-sized blood vessels. And the danger is when it's affecting the coronary arteries. Those are the arteries that bring blood to the heart muscles.
So that's the reason the parents are very worried.
Yes. And so that's the reason why if anybody develops symptoms that are consistent with Kawasaki's, even if you don't have the whole list of symptoms I gave you, just have a few, it is very important. And that fever for over 5 days is something that you should call your doctor anyway.
So the red flag real is fever constantly during 5 days. I think is the most
prolonged fever, more than 5 days, and then the other symptoms that happen within a few days of the fever or at the same time. Yeah. And so I think every case, like anything with this virus, is going to have to be treated and determined individually. When you call your doctor, then he or she will decide if you meet criteria, if you need to go to the cardiologist and have an echocardiogram done, if you need to go to the lab. There are certain blood work results that are abnormal. I won't go over that, but there are certain abnormalities in the white count, in the platelets that can happen with Kawasaki. So your doctor will determine, do you need to go through that step or no? This is just a prolonged fever from something unrelated. Do you need to be tested for COVID-19, which is the big question these days? And the answer will probably be yes, in this case, if there are reasons to believe that you have Kawasaki's.
Wow, that's very interesting. So, I never heard about it. I don't know if Veronica knows something or heard something about this syndrome, but this is very interesting, Marta.
I mean, I did know that it existed because I knew someone who suffered it as a kid, who suffered the disease as a kid. And also kind of because of my background, I worked in clinical research for a long time, but I didn't know in depth all the symptoms and how to identify possible symptoms. So this has been of great help considering that we have 3 kids in the house. Thank you, Marta.
Right, and the good news also is that there is a treatment for it.
That's really good news.
Yes, for the Kawasaki's, at least for that part, it's treated with immune globulins, which are antibodies. They are infused through the vein, and so you go in the hospital, you get this infusion done over like about 12 hours, and then some cases you need steroids to treat the inflammation also. Definitely you need to go on high dose aspirin for a while, and then in a low dose aspirin for life, basically. I have a little one that I diagnosed when he was 6 months old, and he's now 16 and still taking his low dose aspirin, still visiting the cardiologist every once in a while to take a look at those coronaries, and he's fine. But so it's a chronic condition that is going to require chronic care. But the results with the immune globulins mean the incidence of cardiovascular disease goes from 90% to maybe 5-10%. So it's very dramatic. It really helps. The treatment is very helpful.
I think now it's a very good moment. I think in Spain, some people were discontinuing their chronic treatments because of news that were featured about different medications that could interfere with COVID-19. I think it's a good moment to remind everyone that you should never discontinue a medication unless your doctor tells you to, okay? So
very good point, because we hear information from all sources. This is the era of communication, so we have conflicting information many times, but definitely they say, well, don't take ibuprofen, this can be bad, this can be good. I mean, many people need to go on chronic ibuprofen just because they have, I don't know, arthritis or they have whatever condition. So always consult your doctor. Don't make any changes, like you say, without, because the consequences can be worse than a possible effect on the coronavirus that you may or may not have. So it's definitely, that's a good advice, Veronica. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, that's so important. I like it.
And like always, well, what helps, you know, when we say that with Kawasaki's treatment, antibodies, okay, so how is our body going to make antibodies? How are we going to become strong? How is our immune system going to be strong? Well, by eating good food. We are what we eat. So we really have to learn now. I think Fer has a little recipe for us here for Mother's Day. So I want to hear about that.
Yes, Marta and Vero. So yes, I was thinking, okay, what kind of recipe we can prepare this week? And when I saw we have Mother's Day around the corner this Sunday, one of my best memories, I remember very sweet from my kids, when they were kids, they brought me the breakfast to my bed on Mother's Day. So the best part is when you just woke up and listen them to whispering on the kitchen, like, okay, quiet, don't make many loud sounds. We don't want mom to wake up and you are totally woke up, listening everything. And it's very sweet. It's something very touching to me to see how they all together try to coordinate to prepare something very special for you, thinking what is your favorite bread or sugar or coffee or how you like it. It's really a very sweet memory, very nice to remember, and even for them and for me. And of course, they put a lot of sugar and cookies and everything, because the best part is when they arrive to the room and sit around you and looking if you want to share with them something of the treats they really prepare for you with a lot of heart, a lot of love. I think it's for a mom, and me as a mom too, and I suppose for you it's exactly the same. It's something so touching, more than anything. It's not something commercial, it's more surprise mom and treat her with a lot of love. So my idea today is to prepare 3 things for the very healthy and yummy breakfast for mom. So my first recommendation is just, of course, give these recipes to daddy. So he's the one who has to be the captain and help the kids to prepare, but they're very simple and the kids can prepare easily. So the first thing is set up the tray. Be ready. They have everything on the tray. The plate for the toast, the cup for the coffee, the little spoon, the sugar, a jar with the milk, everything. And the 3 things I'm going to prepare is granola yogurt cup. So it's in a glass cup, looks more pretty. You can prepare like a layers with Greek yogurt, granola, and berries. Any berries you have at home. Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, or the berries your mom like it. If your mom don't like a lot of berries, you can use any peaches, any fruit, banana, whatever. And just put a little honey or any syrup you have at home, agave, caramel syrup, whatever your mom like it, that's perfect. And again, 1 yogurt, granola, and finish with some berries or some fruit on the top, and that's it. So it's just very healthy breakfast for many moms who really like it. And the other thing is mini choco rolls. And this is very fun to make it because it's so easy. We are gonna need only 2 slices of bread sandwich, 2 tablespoons of melted dark chocolate. You can use dark chocolate and melt it on the microwave if you want, but you can use peanut butter, any jam your mom like it, whatever you have. So don't try to make things complicated. I just think all moms usually like chocolate, and it's the reason I use dark chocolate because I love it. So, but
Me
don't
too.
have chocolate. And 1 egg, 2 tablespoons of milk, cinnamon, almond milk. I use almond milk with the cinnamon better than sugar because I think it's healthy, and it's good to learn and to show the kids the healthy options more than a lot of sugar. But if they really like sugar, it's okay. One day, it's Mother's Day, so don't try to be so strict. And half tablespoon of butter, because we are gonna toast the rolls in a saucepan with the butter is melted. So it's as simple as just cut the edge on the slices bread, use your rolling pin to make a very, very, very thin, like a crepe, your sliced bread, and just spread the chocolate and make the roll. So it's like a little roll, pretty, so cute. And this roll we are gonna put on the back with the beaten egg and the milk. And we're gonna put the 2 rolls on the egg and the milk. Be sure it's like a sponge, like absorb a lot of liquid of the egg and the milk. So it's gonna be very soft. And when the butter is melted in the saucepan, we are gonna put our rolls on the saucepan and we are gonna start rolling until they are toast all around with the butter. And after that, when they are still warm, just put on the cinnamon with the almond milk or sugar, whatever you want, and just cover it and cover it and cover it, and cut in half and put in a plate that you have in your setup tray. They look so cute. They probably want to try. They're gonna make the hands full of chocolate, so they can use it when they're preparing. It's for moms, so no problem. And the last one is a toast with guacamole and egg poché. How we make a poché egg? Some people think it's complicated. There are many ways to make it, but this one is very easy. In a cup, just cover with the film from the kitchen, the clear film, and drop some, put some drops of olive oil and spread well with your fingers and pour the egg inside and make like a little bag. So just tie all the extremes of the film and make a knot. Be sure it's very well closed, and you have a pot with water in the heat, in the stove. When it start bubbling, no boiling, just with a little bubbles, just put the bag inside and count 3 minutes. It's a timer time. So 3 minutes, don't need anything else. So it's just one slice sandwich bread, toasted, really well toasted. They can make a heart in a paper, put the shape of the heart in the toast and cut with a little knife. So the toast has to be the heart shape, and prepare the guacamole with half avocado, a little fresh tomato, a little onion, cilantro. If you don't want to make guacamole, you can put just the avocado, fresh avocado, and it's perfect. But I love guacamole, so it's perfect. And a little, a teaspoon of lime juice. So just smash everything, make your guacamole. So on the toast, we are gonna spread a little mascarpone cheese. It's the one I use because I had at the fridge and it's the one I use. But if you have any other, that's good. The idea of the cheese is keep the toast crunchy a little, because the guacamole or the avocado is wet and it's very moisture, so can make the bread very soggy, and we don't like that. So the crunch of the bread, the cheese on the top, the first layer, the guacamole, and we are gonna poché the egg. So meanwhile, someone can squeeze the orange and make a fresh orange juice if the mom like it. Make the fresh coffee. I like to put the milk separately, because if you put the cup to the top, probably they try to make some balance when they are going to your room. So make life easy if it is possible, and that's all. So that's all we have for Mother's Day. And I hope everyone like it. The mini rolls are really good, and the toast with the guacamole, I really love it. I really enjoy.
Well, I think it's a great combination. Looking forward for, I'll have to give them the idea. See if they take
Yeah,
it.
you can give the idea, like, okay, look.
Right. The suggestion, right?
Yeah, I think it's a very full breakfast. Has everything. Has protein, has fruit, yogurt,
does.
everything. And the
Yes.
best part is enjoy with them on the bed and everyone around. It's a very special day, holiday day. So we have to enjoy.
Very
It's
good. Well,
fantastic. I can't wait. I can't wait to have that breakfast.
and
Yeah, I hope you got some.
some. Yes. Well, thank you very much. That's a very good recipe. It's always nice to be with you, ladies. And if you have any other questions, anything else that we can talk about, or we say until next week.
Yes, I think next week we have to start talking about vitamins and how to prepare our bodies for the next step when this pandemic almost end. And I think it's very, very important to talk about this
That's
topic.
a good idea. Yes.
Yes. So thank you so much.
Thank
Happy
you.
Mother's Day,
Happy
both
Mother's
of you.
Day.
Happy Mother's
enjoy
Day.
the week.
Bye. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank
See
you.
you next week, Veronica and Marta. Bye.
Adios.
Thank you.
Bye.
Stay tuned. Bye.